Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to break down 5 marketing mistakes that are, well, quietly costing small businesses a fortune. So if you're feeling like you're just throwing money into your marketing with not a lot to show for it, you're going to want to stick around. We're about to figure out exactly why.
Look, I totally get it. You're working your tail off, but the results just aren't matching the effort. And it is so frustrating when your marketing feels more like a black hole for cash than a real investment. But hey, you are definitely not alone in this. The problem probably isn't your effort, it's your strategy.
But here's the really good news. The problem is usually one of a handful of super common and, more importantly, very fixable mistakes. We're going to break them down one by one, and I'll give you the exact steps to get them sorted. We're not going to waste any time here, just real, actionable solutions. Let's dive in.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the foundation. Because if you get this part wrong, everything else you try to build on top of it is just going to be shaky from the start. This is all about 2 things: who you're talking to and who you are.
I love this quote because it is the absolute #1 truth of marketing. So many small businesses think, oh, my product can help anyone, so I'll just target everyone. But that is a huge trap. When you do that, your message becomes so generic, so watered down, that it doesn't really connect with anybody. It's just static.
So what's the fix? Well, you got to stop talking to everyone and start talking to someone very specific, your ideal customer. Who are they really? I mean, what actually keeps them up at night? Where do they hang out online? When you can answer these questions, your marketing transforms from like a shotgun blast into a laser beam.
And this brings us to the second big foundational flaw: inconsistency. Think about it. If your website has one look, your social media has another, and your emails feel totally different, you're just creating confusion. And confusion absolutely destroys trust. On the other hand, consistency builds recognition. It creates memory. And that recognition builds the trust you need to actually make sales.
Okay, so here's your action plan. Nice and simple. Number 1, get painfully specific about your ideal customer. Number 2, create a simple brand style guide. Just lock in your colors, your fonts, your tone of voice. And finally, number 3, apply that guide everywhere. Every single place your business shows up. That's how you build a foundation that's rock solid.
Okay, so with our foundation solid, let's move on to the second major problem area: weak customer connections. Once you know who you are and who you're talking to, it's all about how you build those relationships. And that's where strategy and loyalty come into play.
Now, be honest for a second. Does this sound a little familiar? You try some Facebook ads, but they don't seem to work. So you jump over to LinkedIn, then you hear TikTok is the hot new thing, so you give that a shot. That's not a strategy. That's just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. It's a fast track to burnout and, a completely empty wallet. And the other side of this whole weak connection thing is totally ignoring the customers you already have. So many businesses get obsessed with finding new ones, but just look at this chart. The data shows it costs anywhere from 5 to 7 times more to get a new customer than to keep an existing one. Think about that. Your current customers are a goldmine just waiting for you.
All right, let's fix this. It's time to stop the random acts of marketing. First, take some time to map out the entire journey someone takes to become your customer. Second, pick just 2 or 3 marketing channels and commit to them. You got to give them at least 90 days to really see what's working. And third, build an actual strategy to keep your current customers happy and coming back for more.
And that brings us to our third and maybe the most critical mistake of all. You can have an amazing foundation and a really smart strategy, but if you're not measuring your results, you're just flying blind, and you're doing it with your own money. This quote, man, it says everything. If you don't know which of your campaigns are actually bringing you customers or what your return on investment is, you can't possibly make smart decisions. Because without data, marketing isn't really a strategy, is it? It's just gambling. You're guessing with your hard-earned money.
So to fix this, you have to start tracking the metrics that actually move the needle. And it really starts with these 2 right here. Customer acquisition cost, or CAC, that's simply how much you spend to get one new customer. And customer lifetime value, or CLV, that's how much that customer is worth to you over time. Here's the magic formula. When your CLV is way higher than your CAC, you've got a healthy, growing business.
So here's how you stop flying blind starting today. First, if you haven't already, please set up Google Analytics on your website. It's free. Second, start using UTM parameters. They sound complicated, but they're just little snippets of text you add to your links so you can see exactly where your clicks are coming from.
And finally, set up conversion tracking so you can measure the actions that really matter, like a sale or someone filling out your contact form.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, right? We've talked about flawed foundations, weak connections, and flying blind. And within all that, we've identified 5 very specific mistakes. So now, it's time to turn all this insight into some real action.
So let's just recap those 5 marketing killers one more time. Number 1, marketing to everyone. 2, having no real strategy. 3, ignoring your existing customers. 4, inconsistent branding. And number 5, not tracking your results.
All right, so here is my challenge to you. Look, I know this can feel overwhelming, so please do not try to fix all of this at once. Just look at this list and pick one. Just one. Which one of these mistakes are you maybe the most guilty of? Commit to fixing just that one thing this week, because it's those small, focused changes that really lead to massive results down the road. So what's it going to be? What's your first fix?